Class 6 Science Living Organisms and Surrounding. Animated Science Introduction. An organism is a living creature which can be found in any habitat. A habitat is a place where plants and animals live. All organisms need food, water, and air. Organisms can find what they need in the habitat in which they live. There are large varieties of organisms in different habitats. Many plants and animals live in similar type of habitat. Example, in a desert habitat, we find cactus plants, camels, desert snakes, etc. Let us study in detail about the organisms and their habitat. Organism and the surrounding where they live. As you know that an organism is a living creature. It shows growth and development, reproduction, and can maintain or adjust itself to the surrounding. There are different types of organisms in different locations. Plants that are found in one location are different than those found in other region. The surroundings are also different. Some common examples of locations in which organisms live are forests, deserts, oceans, and mountains. Habitat and adaptation. Habitat. It is a home or a dwelling of living organisms. An organism depends on its habitat for food, water, air, shelter, and other needs. The habitat is of two types, that is, terrestrial habitat and aquatic habitat. Terrestrial means related to land, so the animals living in terrestrial habitat live mostly on land. Examples of terrestrial habitats are forests, grasslands, deserts, coastal and mountain regions. Aquatic means related to water, so the animals or plants that live in water are called aquatic animals. Examples of aquatic habitats are ponds, swamps, lakes, rivers, and ocean. Adaptation is the presence of certain features or habits which enable a plant or an animal to live in its surroundings. Adaptation is also the ability of the living organisms, plant, animals, and humans to adjust to their surroundings. A habitat has two main components, biotic and abiotic. Biotic components. All the living things such as plants and animals found in a habitat are called its biotic components. Abiotic components. All the non-living things such as rocks, soil, air and water, sunlight are called the abiotic components of a habitat. These non-living things or abiotic components play a role in the development of the organism. Those organisms which are able to live under the influence of the abiotic factors survive, others die. Thus, an organism which is able to survive is said to have adapted to the surrounding. It takes many years for a plant to adapt to a particular habitat. Adaptations of plants and animals in deserts. The deserts are extremely hot with very less rainfall. Plants. The plants found in a desert are thorny. They have spines on them instead of leaves. The plants have very less or no leaves, as this prevents loss of water during transpiration. They have fleshy green stems with a thick layer of wax which stores water. The roots are long and they go deep into the soil for absorbing water. Example, cactus, babool, kikar, date, etc. Animals. The camels have long legs and wide feet which help them to walk easily on sand without sinking in it. The rats and snakes stay in the burrows deep in the sand when it is hot during the day and come out during the night when it is cooler. Adaptations of plants and animals in mountains. The mountains are very cold and windy and there is snowfall in winters. Plants. In the mountain areas, the trees are tall and cone-shaped. The leaves are needle-like which allow rainwater and snow to slide off easily. Example, pine, fir, deodar, ferns, mosses, and lichens. Animals. In the mountain areas, the animals have a thick skin or fur all over their body to protect themselves from cold. Yaks have hair all over their body. Snow leopards have fur on their body, and goats have strong hooves for running up the rocky slopes. Adaptations of plants and animals in grasslands. The grasslands are large open areas covered with grass. Plants. The acacia trees have roots that go deep under the soil to absorb water. Animals. Lions live in grasslands. Their body is light brown in color, which helps them to hide in dry grasslands while searching for a prey. They have long claws in their front legs, which help them catch hold of their prey easily. Deers have strong teeth to chew on thick stems. They have long ears to hear the movement of predators. They have eyes on their side of the head that allow them to look in all directions for danger. The speed helps them to run away from predators. Adaptations of plants and animals in aquatic habitats. Animals. Oceans. Most aquatic animals have streamlined body to move easily in water. Some animals like octopus, squids, do not have streamlined body. They stay deep down into the ocean and adapt to the habitat in a different way. The aquatic animals breathe through gills, except whales and dolphins, which breathe through lungs. Dolphins and whales take in air through nostrils or blowholes located on the upper part of their head. These holes can be closed and help them in breathing underwater for some time. They come to the surface of the water from time to time for breathing. Frogs can live in land as well as in water. They have strong hind legs that help them in leaping and catching their prey when on land. They also have webbed feet that help them swim easily in water. Ponds and lakes. Plants. Totally submerged plants. Totally submerged plants are the true water plants or hydrophytes. Because they are truly aquatic, they have the greatest number of adaptations to life in water. They have very weak and limp stems. Floating plants. Floating plants are of two types, those which are rooted with floating leaves, example, water lily, and those which are not rooted in the sediment, but just float on the surface, example, duckweed. The roots of aquatic plants are reduced and their main function is anchoring the plant. Stem in these plants is hollow, light, and very long. The stem grows up to the surface of water and the flowers and leaves float on water. Floating leaves are generally tough because they have to withstand the weather and water movement. Stomata or breathing pores through which gas exchange takes place in the leaf are also found only on the upper surface of the leaf. Characteristics of living things. Living things need food. Food is necessary for living organisms to grow and also to perform other life processes going on in them. Example, digestion, respiration, etc. Plants prepare their own food by photosynthesis. Animals depend on plants for their food. Living things grow. All living beings grow. Babies grow into young ones and then become adults. Similarly, chicks come out from an egg and they grow into adult bird. In the same way, plants grow from seed and become a tree. Living things respire. Respiration is the process through which our body obtains energy from food. Breathing is a part of respiration. We breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. Earthworms breathe through their skin. Fishes breathe using gills. In plants, exchange of gases takes place through the leaves. They produce food during daytime and take carbon dioxide, whereas release oxygen. They use oxygen for respiration at night, whereas release carbon dioxide. Living things respond to stimulus. When there is any change in the surrounding, there is an immediate action following it. The change is called stimulus, and the immediate action is called response. Example: when you feel some danger, your heart starts beating fast. When you step on some sharp object like broken glass piece, you immediately take away your foot. Here, in first case, the danger is a stimulus and heartbeat is the response. In the second case, the sharp object is a stimulus and taking away the foot is the response. Animals also respond to the stimulus. They move away or move towards the stimulus. Example: on seeing food, animal comes nearer to eat it. When you take a stick in your hand, it will move away from you. Plants also respond to stimulus. Plants like sunflower change their direction towards sunlight. The touch-me-not plant closes its leaves when you touch them. Living things excrete. Organisms take up food. The useful material is utilized by their body and unuseful material is thrown out by excretion. Both animals and plants show this mechanism in different ways. Living things reproduce. Animals lay eggs or give birth to young ones, and plants reproduce through seeds or through other parts like buds or cutting of stems. All living things move except plant. Plants do not move, but there is some movement in them like opening or closing of flowers, water and minerals movement inside them, etc. Another character of living things is that they die. An animal grows into adult, then reproduces, and then finally it dies. Similarly, the plant grows, reproduces, and then dies. Thus, it completes its life cycle. All organisms that are born die. It is one of the characteristics shown by all living creatures.